So finally, let's look at perpendicular vectors. We've seen this in a previous video, but we'll talk about it in more detail here. So we're interested to find out when two vectors are perpendicular. So let's say we have vector A and vector B. Then if the dot product of A and B, so that's A dot B, is equal to 0, and we know that the length of A times the length of B doesn't equal 0, so there are actually two vectors and none of them are length 0. Then we can say from our angle formula that the A dot B upon the length of A times the length of B, well, the A dot B is going to equal to 0 because we've defined it as such. So if that is equal to 0, then we would have this whole thing is equal to 0, so the cos of theta would equal to 0. And when the cos of theta is equal to 0, that happens whenever theta is equal to 90 degrees. So therefore the vector A and vector B are perpendicular. So that is the detailed description, but heuristically and intuitively we've already seen this before. What we're really saying is that both of these vectors are perpendicular, and we know they're perpendicular because there's no part of A in the direction of B, and there's no part of A in the direction of B whenever this angle here theta is equal to 90 degrees. But you're best working it out and understanding it through an example, so let's work through an example now. So we want to show that these two vectors here are perpendicular. So vector A is 3i plus 2j minus k, and vector B is I minus 4j minus 5k. But we know from above that the two vectors will be perpendicular if A dot B is equal to 0. So we know A dot B is A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3. So if this is equal to 0, we know that the two vectors are perpendicular. So we'll just work these out. So you're just going to have 3 times the 1 plus 2 times the minus 4 plus minus 1 times the minus 5. So when we work that out, we're going to have 3 minus 8 plus 5, which is equal to 0. So because A dot B equals 0, we know that these two vectors are perpendicular. That's all there is for this video. I'll get you on the next video. Goodbye.